that you should be on your own, you should be able to make, you should be able to frame the MCQ out of the paragraph. Okay, right. So subjects and based on the previous year questions, how information can be converted into question format, how to spot the questions in concept, fact, data, chart, figures, tables, etc. Okay, and you should be based on, for example, all these things we do in our transcending prelims. Okay, for example, the information can be converted into question format means there will be information. For example, every chapter in NCERT is information. Okay, regarding history, polity, economy, environment, science and technology, geography. Okay, everything is information. The information is very, basic from the very basic. It is being provided in the form of chapters, in the form of subjects, and it been categorized under some headings. You got the point? So we must be knowing, we must be enabled to find out the MCQs from each of these subjects, and we need to be converting all these things. We need to find out the MCQs embedded in it, eclipsed in it. So what are they? How the MCQs can be formed? We need to find out from the concept. We need to find MCQs from the fact, data, and tabular columns present in NCERT. That we will be doing. Okay, right. So sessions filled with the lateral thought-provoking questions blended with the concepts. Yes. Okay. So for example, whenever we are talking about science, science classes, Newton's first law, second law, third law, and everything been in our 6th to 12th standard NCERT. Okay, so somehow these are all the basics based on which we will be reading the technology. Okay, so the technology, if any technology been published in the current affairs, definitely we must be knowing the very basics of the technology. So for that we need the NCERT. Okay, so no one should ignore NCERT. Remember, okay, even as I told you earlier, the NCERT is the primary and academic notes are secondary. Okay, right. Even for the people who are joining this transcending prelims also will be provided notes, but it is secondary to NCERT. We are compelling, we are making the NCERT in a smoother way, in a very concise way, and we are giving you the summary of our class. Okay, that doesn't mean it will be the full, complete 360-degree information of NCERT. Okay, NCERT is NCERT. Okay, it's like a sun. NCERT is like a sun. Okay, for the people who are living in the solar system is having only one sun. The same way, the people who are in the UPSC field will be having the NCERT as the one. Okay, so it cannot be equivalent to anything. Okay, believe me. Okay, right. So, and the candidate will to hit the concept maximum accuracy. Okay, right. Remember, whenever we are dealing with one chapter, so those chapters will be reflected in the form of some questions in previous years, and those all previous year questions will be recalled and embedded and will be transformed into the lecture. Okay, whenever we are dealing with the particular concept, we will be dealing with the PYQ of the particular chapter and the class. Okay, so don't worry. And all the previous year questions with related to the particular topic will be blended with the lecture. Okay, right, let it be. If you have completed the preliminary subjects, want to revise in an intensive manner, this program will be the ultimate complete guide to you. Why means? Why the statement? Because remember, the approach matters. Okay, so for example, you are having the material, you are having the sword, you are having all the armories of the war, and when you are taken to the war field without maneuvering, without knowing how to maneuver, how to handle the weapons, how can you win the war? That matters. So that is what many candidates are, that is where the candidates, majority of the candidates are struggling. Okay, they have ample amount of materials in a digital form, in a hard copy form, and they are buying materials. Okay, material, they will be simply in the internal storage of the phone will be filled. In the hard disk, it is filled with materials. Okay, in the room, in the almirah, in the rakes, everything is filled with the materials. But how? Okay, if you want to take up any pearl, okay, we need to find out we need to simply plunge into the area which is very proximal to pearl. But we should not be searching somewhere in the ocean. Okay, we may think that we are in the ocean, but we may not find the pearl. The same way, the candidates, majority of the candidates are possessing materials, but do not know how to use. The major problem lies with this. So don't think that everybody, I mean, they are, don't think that everybody is having the same caliber and the same kind of talent within them. It is not so. So by nature, okay, by nature, everybody is having the different talent. Okay. So UPSC wants some sort of talent. Okay. So whatever the talent you previously had, okay, whether it is good or bad, UPSC doesn't consider it. They need some sort of knowledge, some sort of talent, some sort of emotional competence. For that, they are taking up, I mean, based on that, they are taking up the candidates through prelims mains interview. Okay, right, let it be. So our sessions will be like this. Okay, so whatever I tell, you will be watching the few classes, okay, on a demo basis. Okay, it's not a demo class, but it's actual class only, but you can take it as a demo class. That's it. Okay, so then only you will realize, okay, the subjects and books, topics have to be approached in this way. Like that, you will come to know. Okay, so we'll be taking the Transcending Prelims class for all the history, polity, then economy, then environment, and science and technology, and geography. For all the 6 subjects, we'll be taking up the Transcending Prelims class. Okay, so why we have named it a Transcending Prelims means just to cross, you need not score high marks. Okay, getting the high marks is the aim for a candidate in mains as well as in the interview. So that will be taken into account for the final rank list. You got the point? So just it is like just crossing the two-wheeler in the sleeping policeman. Sleeping policeman means speed breaker. Okay, speed breaker, you need not simply jump the speed breaker and cross through. Simply just come over, then slowly descend. Just ascend and descend upon the speed breaker, you will be crossing. You will be crossing the speed breaker. The same way, you are just to transcend the prelims. Okay, so you need to reach the questions that is just above the cutoff. That is enough. For that, this program will be the ultimate tool to crack you prelims and simply will take you out of the vicious cycle of prelims. Okay, so every year if you fail the prelims, then you will prepare for another year, then you will be landing on prelims, and if you fail again, then you will be landing in the same. It is like a cycle, vicious cycle. This program will take you out of the ring, out of the cycle. Okay, we'll show you, we'll throw some limelight on the new dimension of our NCERT. It's a purely NCERT program. Okay, right. See, here I have given identify probable MCQ areas from the NCERT subjects. Okay, so in every subject, every topic, we'll be dealing with the topic by topic. Okay, then decode PYQ patterns and understand the UPSC approach, convert information into question format, spot the questions. Okay, these are all, everything happens in the NCERT. Okay, and remember, though it is a 6th standard and 8th standard, 12th standard NCERT, 6th to 12th standard NCERT we are referring, the way the NCERT being looked at is different for school children's and is quite different for the UPSC aspirants. Okay, so their age is different. So 6th standard child will be having merely 10, 11 years, that's it. Okay, so at that age, the book is read. The same book is read by the UPSC aspirants at the age of merely 21. So nearly 10 years after, if you are looking at the same, you will be having the different perspective. Okay, for every year we are intellectually developing. Okay, can you remember some incidents some 10 years ago? Don't you think that it is a very ridicule? You yourself will ridicule. Okay, so that happens. That happened with my friend. Okay, I simply fought with them. Okay, now if I think that it looks very ridiculous and all, can't you imagine? The same way, because our mind has developed, our the intellectual maturity is growing day by day, year by year. So that is why the looking at the NCERT from sixth standard point of view, sixth student is different from UPSC aspirants. Okay, right. Okay. So what we are going to do with this Transcending Prelims program means will be to approach the lessons of NCERT. Will be individually, subject wise, chapter wise. Will be approaching the lesson to find out the important areas. What are all the important areas that can be taken into consideration for framing the questions? Okay, that we will be finding out. Then interlink the concept. We will be interlinking the concepts. Okay. Then to take notes from NCERT. Okay, right. And to infer the chart, that in turn to learn updates. Okay, we'll be inferring the chart. Okay, so based on the chart inference, we will be taking, we will be applying the same knowledge in while taking up the current affairs from newspaper. Okay, right. To capture current affairs from daily newspaper. So based on these formulas, I'll be teaching some formulas. Okay, that is a very universal formula. Okay, unless until the NCERT entire curriculum, I mean, NCERT entirely changes. Okay, unless until the NCERT themselves change or metamorphosis into another form, my formula will remain the same. Okay, right. To avoid the simple to complex mistake in the question paper. Okay, so I already told you 11 to 13 type of error that a candidate without their knowledge they are possessing. Okay, so they are unknowingly being applied on the question paper, so that the questions are going wrong. Okay, the answers become incorrect. So I will teach one by one. Okay, those 11 to 13 mistakes I will be dealing extensively, and to recall and integrate the fact within NCERTs. Okay, so what are all the problems we have seen, and we have asked some questions. I have asked some questions in the previous slide, right? The same thing, to recall and integrate the fact within the NCERTs, that we will be doing. Okay, to combine subjects to arrive at answers. So remember, this is very important for any UPSC aspirant. Okay, if you might have seen many of aspirants, they have crossed prelims for every time. For example, they will be simply crossing all the prelims, whatever all the prelims they write, but they are not able to crack the mains, not even for a single time. Have you heard of it? Have you heard of such kind of candidates? Have you met those persons when your senior, I mean, in your senior circle or in your roommate or whoever may be? Have you met? Okay, so their problem is with this. Their problem may be with this. Okay, to recall and integrate the fact within NCERT, yes, one must to remember. Our brain will our brain will act as a artificial intelligence. Nowadays, what became very pitiful means we are to take up, for example, we are to while we are exemplifying something, when we are giving some examples, we are taking examples from the human inventions and discoveries. Okay, for example, whenever a chimpanzee is looked at, okay, chimpanzee, okay, apes, I'm talking about the apes, biological. So whenever we are visiting the zoo, the chimpanzee will be simply